Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What's on Tap podcast, coming to you once again from the great outdoors, or I should say inside a bar.
Inside a bar,
because it's way too freaking cold to be outdoors at this point still. Hopefully soon, just a couple of more months, and then we'll be outdoors podcasting.
We are at the place that usually has these heaters,
Oh, I know. They're so nice too.
but they're turned off for some reason.
It makes no sense.
But we found a cozy little area where there isn't a lot of noisy patrons screaming in our ears.
Cute little corner just to cuddle up and drink some beers and podcast.
And be what's on tap.
Exactly.
We didn't, this time particular, we didn't ask, hey, what's on tap? Because there's such a big menu just shining in your face.
Yeah, it
So
seems a little redundant.
So I just ordered, and I feel dirty for not asking, hey, what's on tap?
Oh, we should, from now on, we should just have you, we record you asking that in different bars.
Yikes. Yeah. we might,
That's how we can open the show every time.
we get such weird answers because people are like, we have a menu.
I know, it's like, I'm not going to go through this. Just look above my head.
Exactly.
It's really big. You can't miss it.
But we are at Brewdog Malmö, a place that's been open for a long time, and I've been here.
6 years at least, I would say.
I've been here an enormous amount of times.
Yeah.
You had. We will not dive into it, but for years you had an embargo. They treated you badly sometimes.
So I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Brewdog because they came into Malmö and they started charging more per glass than any other place in town, and because they could support that cost. Yeah. Every other place in town has slowly raised their prices, whether or not the kegs were worth the price or not. They've raised their prices, and so everything has gotten much more expensive when you go out and have beers just across the board. The beer prices have gotten quite expensive.
It is true.
In some cases, when you go to say Bishop's Arms, Gustavstorg, where they're bringing in the premium A-list titles, sure, you're going to pay a premium for those, and you expect that.
Yes.
But in a lot of cases where they're bringing in just kind of the most average, mediocre stuff, you're still paying a premium price. And I largely blame Brewdog for that. Because they showed what the market could support, and they've kind of like screwed over everyone else that goes out to drink.
Yeah, and Brewdog has always been the most expensive here.
Yeah.
They have flights, which is 4 small beers, but they charge, it's a different price every day. Because it's based on some bars they do flights and they pour so little of each beer that it doesn't matter that some are more expensive. They'll even do a smaller pour of the really expensive beers to fit the flight price. Brewdog, no. They will just up the price of the flight until it suits them. One point I bought a flight of 4 mediocre beers and I paid $294. That's $30. For a 4 flight of mediocre beers.
Of 10 centiliter pours, basically.
I think they forced them up to be 20, all of them. Like,
oh, wow.
That's what they do. They have to be 20.
Wow.
Now I bought 2 small beers and they're 20 each.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what I would expect when I buy a small beer. But a flight is a flight. Come on.
Yeah. A flight is like a 5-10 centiliter beers pours.
Yeah.
So it's meant to be small, kind of 2 or 3 sips and you're done. You get to experience a beer, but you're not paying for the full price.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be more than like $15, I would say, 150 crowns, 170 maybe.
Inflation has increased it, so in Malmö, you don't get flights that cheap anymore.
Aww.
15. That's a thing of the past, unfortunately. Like Malmö Tap Room, they charge $16.50, 165 Swedish. For 5.
For 5. Okay, so that's still pretty cheap, though. That's a good price.
But they used to cost 150 for 5.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the pre-inflation price.
Wow, that's really expensive. Okay.
But going to the beers, we are starting with a Deya beer called Check the Links. It is a farmhouse grisette at 4% percentage. like 4.3 or something like that. And it is really clear.
It is super clear.
Grisettes, we haven't really delved that deep into on the podcast. It is a slightly more acidic. No, that's not true.
No, it's not true at all.
That's
it's more
not
of like
true.
a table beer. It's
Yes.
usually a lower ABV, kind of just generally drinkable. This one is particularly a little bready, I would say. It's very palatable. I think it's a really quite nice grisette table style.
Okay, a grisette is a variety of beer originating from the mining regions along the border of France and Belgium. It is a close relative to other farmhouse ales, including saison and bière de garde. Though unlike those beers, which were prevalent amongst agricultural workers, grisettes were consumed primarily by miners. The name, which means little grey one, may come from the name of the local grey-colored stone or from the grey frocks worn by the women who served the beers in local pubs.
So the women serve the beers to the miners.
Yes.
I'm sure kids drinking in France was probably pretty common. I mean, it still is today. But no, this is very much a saison style beer.
Yeah.
Not sour, very earthy, quite light, very super easy to drink. I really think this is quite an exceptional beer.
4.2% was the correct answer. I think
It should be somewhere, under 4.5 on average. I think is kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Again, a table style beer. Back in the day when you didn't have clean drinking water, you would of course have low ABV beers because they would be clean and you wouldn't die from dysentery. So you would always have these kind of table beers, grisettes, saisons, kind of styles. And
this is super drinkable. I'm not surprised that Deya made it. It is a difficult style because many people will say, "Oh, it lacks in flavor. It's not a flavor bomb." No.
Yeah.
At a 4% farmhouse ale,
It's supposed to be.
It'll never be that.
Yeah. And most saisons are not super flavor bomb kind of things. Most table beers are not super flavor bombs. What you're looking for is a lightly flavored, usually kind of bready, just clean drinking beer, and I think this really hits those notes. I am going to give this a 4.
For me, it's a weak 4 or a strong 375. More like a strong 375.
Yeah, completely.
But
not going to argue with you on that one. Yeah.
But really good. I wish it was warmer outside. I actually wish we had been just working in a mine for 12 hours. We go up from the mine, you and me, and we go into the closest bar where the gray frock-wearing maiden is serving us this beer, and we just go glomp. That's 1 liter.
Man.
Glomp. That's the next liter, and then we go to sleep.
Your sexual fantasies are wild, I gotta say. That is not what I was envisioning, but sure, whatever floats your boat, buddy.
I mean that. I think that it would taste 100 points out of 5.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure just like drinking it off of my sweaty body is all you're thinking about.
That's not what I said. That's your interpretation of my little story.
That's what I heard. All right, so the next beer is from Hyllie. It is a collaboration with Brewdog, and it is Trappish,
Yes.
which is, I forgot the descriptor on it now.
Toasted almond
Yes.
abbey ale. It is a collaboration, like you said, and the strength is 6.3% ABV.
This is not too dissimilar from the grisette. I wish it had more caramel notes, and I wish it was a little fuller body. I'm not really getting those toasted almonds in it.
No.
But it's got a weak backbone to it. I mean, there's some flavor there. There's a little bit of something happening, but it's not, and it could be it's just too cold. It could be it needs to warm up quite a bit. Like it should be served probably at room temperature and not cold on the tap, because I think it might be muting whatever subtle flavors are there.
But here it's actually interesting. The grisette, which is very light, doesn't feel light. It feels perfect for what it is and what it's supposed to be and what I'm expecting it to be. The Trappish as soon as my taste buds get these abbey sweetness notes, they immediately think this is a watered down drink. This is watery and not thick enough.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at there, saying it was too cold. Because I don't think it's going to get much better than it is right now.
No.
It should be much more. There's more flavor there. There should be much more of those roasted notes. There should be much more of the dates and caramel flavors and things like that. And this is, like you said, it just tastes like a watered down, like somebody had left some ice cubes in it and it had melted, and that's kind of what you're getting here.
Exactly. But the grisette doesn't feel like that, and the grisette has a weaker mouthfeel, but it feels like a better beer.
100%.
It is amazing how the weaker beer outshines the stronger beer for being not weak.
Yeah. So the Trappish, and I really think that it's kind of exciting to see Hyllie branch out into styles other than lagers and IPAs. They haven't really done. They've done a couple of stouts recently with the Nyctophobia.
Yeah, definitely.
Which were quite nice. But they don't really do a lot of stouts. They mostly stick to the lagers, and the IPA kind of is their wheelhouse.
And that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not knocking them for that. I'm just saying that it's nice to see them doing some other stuff, kind of flexing their wings a little bit and expanding.
I enjoy them doing collaborations with non-Swedish breweries because I think they're good enough to take their place in the greater European community.
Oh, for sure. I think they do really good stuff, and I think the Hyllie is still one of my favorite IPAs. I've had it many times, and always enjoy it whenever there's a new release that apparently comes out the first of every month. Whenever I look at the Systembolaget releases, it seems like Hyllie is coming out with, I guess, a new batch would be my guess. That's why it's always listed as a new release.
Maybe. I haven't seen that in...
You haven't seen that? Well, look at the releases coming out of Systembolaget for the small batch release for March, because you'll see Hyllie in that list. And it's there maybe not every month, every other month. It comes around so often that it feels like it's always in the new release section.
So Hyllie is actually a bit of a pun. It was their first beer that they intended to get into Systembolaget. So the brewery is Hyllie, which is more of the old name for elderberries, elderflowers.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Danish,
I thought it was just named after the region in...
Which is named after the old Danish word for elderflowers. It is. But Hyllie is meant to have a connotation to the brewery name, but also to hylla, shelf, like a Billy's IKEA shelf.
Okay.
So Hyllie is the shelf IPA. Meant to be on all the Systembolaget shelves, and also made by Hyllie.
Well,
it's a double meaning.
That's pretty clever. I'll give them that. It's deeper than I ever imagined it would be.
Because they've really used all of their PR to get Hyllie into the Systembolaget shelves.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
So if you're in Malmö, and if you wander into a smaller restaurant or bar, and they're not serving Hyllie on tap, or have it available in a bottle, or some other Hyllie beer, it's kind of astounding these days. They've done a really, really amazing job of getting into bars and restaurants in Malmö in particular. And I mean, with good reason. They're doing great stuff. And I'm a big supporter of theirs, and really glad to see that they're doing stuff.
Now we come to the sad part. So we gave the Deya high ratings. What do you think about
I'm going to give this a 3.25.
For me, it's a 3.
Yeah.
And I have a historical rating on this way higher. I must have been drunk or... emotionally affected in some way to give it a much higher rating.
I mean, I just want to give it a higher rating, but when I try it, I'm like, it's just so flat.
Yeah, maybe 3 is the higher rating.
I think 3 is the higher rating. I feel like 3.25, I'm being generous.
Yeah.
And it really is about a 3 because it's just missing that punch, that flavor, that something more. Like I would love to have a bit of a marzipan-y kind of toasted almond flavor to it, but it just doesn't have that.
No. But speaking, now I'm changing the subject to food here. We are not eating right now, but I've eaten here numerous times.
Me too.
Their burgers are kind of overrated, but good. Their chicken wings are actually...
See, their chicken wings are pretty good.
Pretty good.
I've had their chicken wings, and I've had their... Oh, they've changed their menu since last time. I had their nachos, and I thought those were pretty good as well.
Their burgers have quite funny names. Usually.
We're bringing Pepper Jack.
We're bringing Pepper Jack. That's funny.
Forest Fromage. Cluck Norris.
Cluck Norris, is that a chicken burger?
It is a fried chicken, avocado, red onion, Cajun mayo, and coriander sandwich.
I imagined.
Wow, their prices are insane. We were talking about some other places that have expensive burgers. Burger and fries, $1.99. We're bringing Pepper Jack, $2.09. That's $20 for a burger.
Yeah.
And French fries. Woof. Okay. Holy crap. Sorry, I just keep looking at their prices.
The prices are crazy.
The prices are insane. All right, well, now that we're through ragging on Brewdog and their insane prices, we'll wrap this up. If you do make it to Malmö, I would say Brewdog's, it's okay. It's not quite as great as it used to be. If you have some problems with the CEO of the company who has said some rather inflammatory and questionable things in the past, I can definitely understand why you might skip this place. But I mean, it's a nice local hangout as well. So, and plus, I forgot to mention, downstairs they have shuffleboard.
That is true.
And they've expanded their downstairs to where it's really quite spacious and roomy now. It used to be quite small.
Yeah.
So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and podcasts.
Oh, podcasts.
Just podcasts.
Podcast.com.
Yes, exactly. That's where you'll find us. So until next time.
Keep drinking, dum-dums.